It's very unusual, very strange to think of the late 90s, because I think that was the time when the Naga society was going through very dark times. There's a lot of infighting among the political parties, the national parties, so-called national parties. That was creating so much problems and havoc in the Naga society. How did the trouble spill over? It was affecting families, particularly young families, and that made me feel very, very disturbed. I remember one time very clearly, my children were studying in a neighborhood school. They were very young, and one of them came and says, "You know, Mom, my friend, he can't come to school anymore." I said, "What happened?" And he says, "The father is not working and the mother can't find money and she can't pay the fees, and so he can't come to school." The problems finally, when it comes to children, the way the family is run, and children going for education to schools and all that, it falls on the mother.
Initially, we didn't have anything, but one thing that we had in our hands was our passion, our commitment, our dedication. Dr. Anungla Iyer, she said that just go out in the community and just listen to the voice of the women and children. For 1-2 months, I was alone. Afterwards, rain came in, and then we started going from house to house, listening to the voices, listening to the stories. The Women's Society laga leader ase, Mrs. Abolebra, bacha kiman ase, ki kam kore, olop kobo paribo na ki?
Bacha 6 জন ase. Moi ni pulang gawo di worker kore ase. Ya to sarigna bacha khanhe kore ase.
Of course, Anungla started few women from Ringrijan. After me joining, we started this Nutun Pusti, Palichan, PWD, and then to different colonies and to different tribes. And in the process, we also found out that many girls staying there like that. So we feel the need for them.
There's a special feeling that you come that what I'm going through and what that woman going through is something that touches me deeply as well. So I kept on feeling for these women and imagining how some of them were facing nights without food for their children, sometimes imagining where their husbands are not very good to them, being abusive and so on. No, we can't leave those. So feeling for them was very strong in me. I think that's one very strong part where you cannot deny it, you cannot forget it, so you just had to handle it and go on, push you to the next step.
The first step that we take is that building trust among ourselves. After that, only casually we sit and talk to them. That's how they slowly pour out. Yeah, so that's the technique that we use.
So we got all fired up, we have to help these women. And that's how we said, let's give a good try. There's no harm in trying. We could try it for maybe 6 months, a year, and if it works out, fine. If not, that's also fine. We will not give it up.
It was not only just 3 of us who were taking the lead, but it is the women who were also taking the initiative to go forward to have this Sisterhood network. Ren Tonglo and I, we tried to raise some funds, and we baked some cookies, and we went up all the way to Kohima. And One of my aunt, my dead sister, she's no more. She passed away. She said that come over to my house and we can sell your cookies. And then I still remember her. And she called her neighbors and then buy these cookies. It's for the sisterhood.
Psychological, emotional encouragement was there. The spiritual part was also there, but that was not enough. We wanted to make it holistic. We decided we should collect some money every month or every turn. And those days, 50 rupees was a lot of money. Some women couldn't even afford that. But we gathered that, and they would take turns in using that collective money. And with that money, how did they multiply? We had to find out.
I think 70–80% that we see in our women group is that they weave. We ask them, how do you market? They say, even if they weave, they don't have marketing. So marketing was the problem. What we did was that we helped them find marketing for them.
And they would be amazed. We would be amazed too. And they said, we made this much profit. And that would be put to their next business deal or whatever. It's happened. And seriously, some of the groups within a few months' time proudly would tell, I was able to pay my children's fees.
The first meeting was at Lingrijan. It was below the church. There was some small rooms where children were having Sunday school. So in one of that room, we had 12 women and 3 of us. So we were gathering without any name. We are fellowshipping without any name.
Don't you think we should do something now? It says that these 2 ladies were so happy. They says, yes, we should now start giving a name. We should start thinking of a name. And so you do your housework, you do your lectures, but at the back of the mind, what kind of a name shall we give? What kind of a name? And so the word sisters, I was looking at a magazine, a women's magazine, the word sister, and then the word hood, brotherhood. Why don't we call it sisterhood? National Foundation of India, NFI, they were the first outside NGO to support sisterhood. And that's how we began. If you need funds to come in, especially foreign funds, you needed the so-called FCRA. In that process, that's when our Anungla also happened to come.
I work with the Chartered Accountant book, and then we work out not only on the FCRA, but also running around for tax exam, which is 12A. And after that, again, ETG, 3 documentation that I work with the CA. After that, all the documents was sent to Ministry of Home Affairs in Delhi. And then within 1 month, we got the FCRA.
If only women were brought together, encouraged, supported, and found their value, then I think half of the problem would be solved.
It's a very simple motto, helping one another, but it means a lot to us working with the grassroots people. By 2003, Sisterhood Network got a sponsorship to travel to Bangladesh and learn more about women collective. It was Ren's turn to go and get trained, but Dr. Anungla didn't know that she was going to get married.
Azang and me in a rickshaw, people, they don't see our face also. We bring this bosta, and then we divide to our different group of ladies. That evening was a wedding rehearsal. I was late. Too many people were in my place, and then they saw me with so much yarn, and then I told them, let me settle down this first, and then I'll wash up, I'll go. When my husband recollects that he...
So at the end, it was me who went to Bangladesh.
The founders' expectation was not only for us to have an internal orientation properly about how to run a project, but also eventually it's all about engagement in the community. The targeted were the marginalized.
Tukan kulisina, moi tu boleh monjasyo.
Most of the vendors here are female and they don't have a space to go for their personal needs. So this toilet was constructed with the help of ActionNet.
When ActionNet started to work with Sisterhood Network, there were 16 villages that were willing to work with us. And that is how we extended up to the parent district.
Maki hogena maki laga kam to pish ase gor laga kam bi kure bagan bi kure to gahori guru eto khan bi sob pali kena hi eto pet choli ase ho sisterhood khan jani kena ki logo kam kora to hole 10 साल opor hoche de ami to hole iku dusra rasta nai eto janor palibo aro bikai kena hi Itu gor debi jolabo aro baca khan laga school fee aro itu khao labi sob kore ini kahi nijor gor maintenance kuri kena hi itu manu logote mili kena thaki ase jo
Itu tuh moi khan necklace banai mala banai na aro Delhi te bi moi khan program thaki ase he te bi jai media pradesh te bi dai aro jaga jaga te na enaka jai kana moi khan bikri kuri bole ne loi jai moi to kapor sula bole bana bole bi jane aro mala khan sosta alop na enaka bi bana bole jane alop salap to ame bisin hoile bi na itu karena moi to puri holebi makan society ruba moi mili gana morom pra meeting to lebi ki to lebi moi attend koribo ami na jane lebi jana laga kam koribo kotha lebi takan ki koya che to ami hone gana bhag to ami bi loi gana itu ami la life point wala che pato na itu moi idea bi lo pare khushi bi pai
aro manu laga duka baju kuri kena kha to hole mon duk hobo hole bi nijor duk kuri kena pusna ulai kena kamai kena nijor bacha palia nijor maintenance kora to hole pishu khushi para thaki de
Before it was just Dimapur and Parent district, but now we have 4 districts. So in New Land we have a village called Sohe, and in Chumukidima, Aoyim, Mulkham, Tezepe, Bate. In Parent district we work in Chaluki Zandi, Chaluki Ram, Paisambikam, Samjiram, Saijang, New Chalkot, Old Chalkot, Songlu, Inpung, Atibong, if I'm not mistaken. So those are the few villages that Sisterhood network with. And when we work in a particular villages, even the neighboring villages come and attend the program. So that's how Sisterhood network have been involved in different villages.
Come to think of it now after all these years, I think that was something that I did not create. That is something I think was God-given, something divine.
আমি ডাঙৰ হয় নে ইটো বিয়া আছে কোৱা জানা তো শাদী হয় নে মুতা খান নিচা পানী খাই নে গড়ে হেনতেন কৰা আৰু মাইকী খান কে দুংকি কৰা ইটো হেন বিয়া আছে কোৱা মই জানি লৈছে আৰু বস্তি ভিতৰতে নাজানিলে বি ইয়ত খান কে মিলি নে মই নিচা পানী খা খান কে বস্তি বাল হ'ব নিমিতে নাকৰিবি কয়নে নিকা নাকৰিবি নিকা নাপিকাবি নিকা নাখাবি কয়নে ইয়ত খান মিলাই নে মই খান নিকা ঘৰ আৰু কেতিয়াবা বস্তি চেক কৰি থাকে কয়নে চব মানেকে জানাই দি আছে
Initially, Sisterhood Network, we were just focusing more on their livelihood, focusing more on how we can go forward one day at a time. But as we began to grow and as we began to listen to the stories, we found out that most of our women, we go through so much at homes and we don't tell it to the society, we don't tell it to the family because we think that it is the duty of the women just to bear it and not to share with anyone in times of difficulties, in times of challenges.
When we treat the sons in our family as someone a little above and the sisters are supposed to serve them all, in such a kind of a family, many times the brothers, they get a little spoiled. They don't turn out as they should.
There is so much of domestic violence going on in our own homes, in our own towns, in our own community. But how far are we listening to their voices?
There's something, it's called persistence. Nuchurubi, na? You don't give it up, okay? You hold on, you hang on.
Our Naga society regarding domestic violence cases reporting here in our police station is very rare, I can say. They usually go to the family court where they used to do all the settlement and all. Many a time it happens that the aggrieved person, they are illiterate, who don't know how to read and write. So they will come with a complaint, for example, like a physical abuse by husband. The aggrieved person said, my husband is the only bread earner, and if he's been sent to jail, then there won't be anyone to feed us. So just summon my husband, and then you just give him some advices or instruct, like suggestion.
We started doing this awareness on domestic violence, and when we are doing this awareness, many women came forward and said that, hey, that's me, I'm also going through that, but I never thought that we have a provision for the women that can safeguard us, that can safeguard our children. So I think I need to speak up.
Sometimes they physically come, sometimes we receive phone from all the part of Dimapur, and the entire district command complaint reported in our cell is number one will be missing children, and then POCSO cases, that is Prevention of Children from Sexual Offences Act.
In the year 2022, the government declared that Nagaland as the safest place of all the states in India. It was in the year 2019, we did one survey with 600 random women who are going to work and who are going to colleges, educational institutions. And we found out that those 600 have never filed an FIR because it's a stigma, right? When we don't do that, then it will be projected as a very safest place. It was in the year 2013 that a young Naga girl from Manipur, she was 13 years old. She was found raped and murdered in Ling region.
After a week, NGOs came together and then tried to advocate for the safety of the children. But we realized that it is not only girls who are not safe, and most of the NGOs are working for women as well. So let us make it into women and child rights. And that's how NACWR was formed.
Yes. Very good.
Eki se maiki mota do equales na, but then mota hando bishi bakto interest na de studies de no levi na tushin logole maiki hando bishi interest de na to aro ta hando moreover ekta bishte ekta ina friend tani na he maiki hando ido karne maiki hando bishi se mota hando one net turn up hoise, but then 5-6 ase turn up kora da 4
to middle class lo do bishi improvement pai dan gorde thagile to dan napuri na thage badmas kan kurde go phone kan chui deo ti han sai deo le middle da ile dan mondina pure do dan gorba buga bra do middle class la balase
bishi bakto manhando ama baba hando tushin lo na dio na pare na thage to tambi khushi jaine ama baba ke kotha kora tamne tambi moke tushin bacha am pathai aro bacha am bi molo de tushin improve dikhe
We have a section for our young girls or adult girls who are dropped out from the school and not doing anything. They can come here and get trained in different livelihood activities whereby they can also start something for their economic upliftment. We were just operating from homes, and then at the basement of the church or schools, anything that is available. So we thought that let us rent a room where we first function our office.
The space was a bit limited because each year the girls group increased, even the staffs, so the space became a bit congested.
After a year or so, we shifted it to IMC. So that's how we shifted from one place to another. We stand together because of our commitment. We stand together and we work in the community. As we unite our hearts, as we dedicate with what we are doing, we can do better. So I think with that understanding, we are here today.
পুইলা তো মাইকী খান তো স্কুল বি পঢ়ক নাদে আৰু স্কুল পঢ়া তো কাম নাই গৈ আৰু মহিলা বাবালা দিদি আনকি খান তো ধান খুন্দিব খেতি যাও এইটো ভাদাই থাকিছে মাইকী খান তো কি কৰিলে বি কাম নাই মানুহলা ঘৰতে যায় না ঘৰ কামই কৰিব ওলাইছে গৈ না
Women somehow are given the idea that it is them who has to do all the work, especially at home. And the menfolk, they're the protector of the family or whatever. They are not given that part about where they should also work hard, have equal sharing of work and all that.
Women who were coming down from the villages and to find livelihood for their families, as well as to get, give education to the children. They really want to do something but don't know what to do. We said that why don't we just form groups of 5 or 7 or 10 or 12 and then come together, do some kind of activity where we can sell that as a group.
Unok tutsurdam from Masabaya, Udang tutsurdam Ayaka, Udang Ginongbora Ayaka, Udang Hajarawala Nahe, that's your book in Zurja, Ajudang housewife tang, Ta Yamaji. Lear, Daja Snuka, Udang Yamaibo, Milili, Udasan Lamang. Car bushes, Asanugia, Tim the Mernabo Carbo, Yarid Sa, Tendeda Udini. That's certain to Palia. Uno, Peckle, young Lubaya, Udang Kibung Shiatang Yamas, Saga Udang selected Kibung Dangi, Udang Funrise Samae.
We just simplify it so that they can also learn. And one thing is that what we tell the women is that they have to rotate their leadership. It's a kind of leadership training also among themselves.
My mandala is an activity. Its meaning in Sanskrit is the circle of life. We ask the women to separate their life story into 4 quadrants. And we ask them questions like what kind of environment they grew up in.
Next day, ki kuro kole to apni kitia realize hoise ki apni to mota ase, maiki ase. Kitia ki kura tamte chali she.
One night there, ekta mula room te tushi jesh de. Edu de moi to kitte be manala jawab bi na de ki bi na kore hole bi mo khushi na pa hose. Edu bra edu dam de moi ekdam moi bi ma ki ekta se mo kitte be ni ga jokham du na korbo aro ami ke ni duk korbole na dibo. Moi to etum school de jabole mon. Mo khan la khor du school laga church laga khor sa se na. Edu bra manu ke dikhi ne tum uniform chulane school de ja khambi saine tum khushi ase hole bi mokhan family manu bisha ase tubra e mokhan family bisha ase ami tu maiki bi ase muta khan ke puri dibo koine na ami tu school bi na pura hose to bra mi ne ka choto moto likhine rakhise de moi bi pari mano mesna ho jaise itu laga koi dise man hi
तो last day जा जाओ दे
Visible things may just go away, but that kind of development that is in their minds, that is something that we want to see. Why a woman should have her own personal bank account, because that also gives her the freedom. What Sisterhood Network is that during the training, we give them bookkeeping, how the cash comes in, where is the profit. So those are very simple terms that even, every woman can learn very easily.
Aro mountain kan saigina dalibi, aro sun. Itu kan alag itu kan daliwar parwa flowers, grass kan, leaves.
Matta to chari dishe. Mukhan jasa June te start kurase. Mekhela khan bi, sol khan bi inika banai. Mukhan ek hafta te kiteba 2 bar enya ek kilo te banai itu gorde ole bi nijor gorde to bana thake. Mukhan inika with grado bishi bala se nijor hoy moi na jane bi ta khan bi jane niga ekjon lagate design khan bi hikaloe to pra bishi bala se mukhan itu banai na iniga earn grado mukhan do school fee bi tera bole pare se aro gorde bi khalwa te bi inika pare se to pra bishi khushi pa se Pache khan kebi shikai na ajikali to itu najene khan to ekdom duk pa se itu laga bishi dam bi dam ho ja se to pra pache khan pra bi mokhan nishna ikai na piche de tai khan nijor pet pali bole enya bi thake se
Lama weaving kurato moi suta khan bi uthaine take dite moi dangor hua fichede moi nurse kure time te moi bi weaving to kurwa
kutu bam dai le
When I dance is when I sing from within. The glowing sun cannot be hid. Cage bird soars high above the lane, and he April. Listen to me dance.
It's very difficult even to talk about women's health issue, women's spirit. So we have to start with a common ground where we talk about, okay, do you drink water or not? You know, how is the water here in the community? If you don't take clean water, what happens to our health? So that's how we start with the conversation. They will lead us to the exact health issues and how can we help our daughters, our sisters who are going through these kind of issues.
Tadi kota koina bosti punji jawo. Koina mohan koi dishe. To udo shuru hadam ni do thagishe ulibi itya do sado maiki khan do include nai.
Most of the vendors at the company market, almost about 90% are women. For women to access to privacy, it's challenging. When we visited company market last time, it was locked, and the key was with this company market committee, which involves all men. So we insisted and emphasized that women should be included in the committee. The secretary did promise that they will involve the women in the next tenure.
When I dance is when I sing from
When we were dealing with the young mothers, with their little groups coming together and trying to do their own businesses and so on, we also discovered in the process there were so many dropouts girls. They didn't have money to study or failed and therefore no more motivation to study. So many young girls we found out.
She's neither studying or going to field or nothing, just staying like that. So that's how we thought of a hostel, this Adelphia home.
We started as a hostel first, but slowly it became like a shelter home. We used to give them counseling, personal counseling, almost every week. So in that counseling, we tried to help them to open up, like about their interests, about their life. And in that, they become more open to us.
When we interact with them, they do come with a lot of baggage. And most of the time, high percentage of the girls open up to us that they have been abused in some way or the other in their lives as girls. That is another aspect where we bring in to teach them about women's rights and girls' rights.
the glowing sun cannot be hid.
Livelihood skills training program is an intensive program, but yet it's flexible for the girls. We do this program in batches, and so the girls, they go through a 4 to 5 months course of tailoring and crafts. Also, we give free classes on English and soft skills, on basic financial management, and also their personality development.
Cage bird soars high above the lake, and here comes April. Listen to me dance.
Mokan training lowa kan sob milaile atchun ase holobi mokan every Wednesday turn by turn jai aro mokan la sheka manu to tai ase mokan la miss Siren tai rai saman banai gna mokan bra kina ona product sell kurbo
customer kan yakin diga kotha korba lage na etu khan ini sob shiki ase
tu kan bal lagi sini. Customer do alak thai na gunu ba do ini pala se guna lo aro gunu ba do bisi dam ase guna jai na ina ase aro embroidery kan la do alap dam thai na to karne gunu ba do ini na jana kan do ina dam ase guna jai lebi jana kan do lagi na jai.
First month aha sate sister kambra kini na ti thai shana rashin kan to aro 2 week pichi di da man ke paisa ti na man nature bra manage green na khai ase
Mukhan bhat sabji bana kan do turn by turn ase mukhan routine banai na ase face kori na ase yande mukhan duke sai na kam kori thake first day to mukhan inni kungkung guru mun jai helping hand na ina kori thake je holebi itia do routine banai na ase ekjum bra morning sam bhat sab banai le tuita manu cleaning turn by turn week na ina banai na ase.
We had this income generating program for them also, where girls who have been trained, who went for further training, they came back and they were employed also. So it was not just a training, but again, for their livelihood also.
exam jo tiu wena thik shiro matlab bemar ne giri jishe felishina tigani next year do wena bhabna wordishe
Eja do phalwai jese tailoring bi hikaise aro like embroidery shilaina boch khan shilaule bag khan shilaule aro etia crochet te ase or jewelry making do kali prosumine start ro
moi yati ini ajikali hiki ase moi bi na to moi bi ini barisho le do posti jai ke na noile nuklak ti tokan chuttu hile bi khuli ke na ini ga gam punai hatla gam punai na ini pika ina na thaki bule muna se moila phapna idase.
After a few years of nurturing them and looking after them, they were some of the groups. They become a role model for other groups.
Exhale. The trees.
Basically, in this struggle over the years, trying to help women, empower women, and women finding a place, I think it's not so much the opportunities they get or don't get, but finally it boils down to oneself, to themselves. As they find that understanding, as that knowledge dawns on them that I am also important, I can also do something, I am worthwhile, I'm not a useless thing, then something dawns on them, and that's the beginning.
Imagine it's you. It's you.
Ito sa this season tehe na this time ito season tehe Koreas from to 1 month 2 months hole be full to ini hai jai na ito bi aro norom hole to aro halibo parebo be just ito be gerible hois ito gas ai botta form kura pra khuli dise ito amis supermarket new market Dimapur anile ami customer kanto Assam para aibo Guwahati para aibo Putsro mau nika kot jega para ani ahai gana ito ami packing kura bag to ekta nika uthai jaina ekjon para duita tinta lobo halbi capital to bisi dangor ase aro एकदम expensive लगा से ये तो bamboo suit लगा तो ना फॉर्मेट करा तो अलग पानी ये तो बैग एक ताते पानी अलग पाबो की परा अलग अमी खान करने बाची है से तो है से अरो रबर के लिए वो पैकिंग के लिए वो मैं का तो बेसी खुश रहा से ये तो परा है बच्चा खान के पालिया से बच्चा तो अजोन से So to baca pra first pra itia 3 zone to last ase. 5 zone to hele sukri tai kan tu som graduate hoina tai nizu laka kam tu kut te jaise. Number 1 to hele sati kurise. First number sukra to hele Saint Joseph University te tai itia 3rd semester poria ase. Na sob koi ki alak ko bona hoise.
चार साल जैसे ना बेसी ভাল হৈছে इतु 30,000 ब्राई इतु फर्स्ट अपनी गान खेती करिছে আৰু এতিয়া তো 4 साल निसना जैसे तो इनि 4 साल আছে কলে তো इतु लगाइ सब 40 लगाइ सब तो 1 लाख ऊपर तो बनाइছে ना अपनी गान बिना वुमेन सोसाइटी गान बिना We can still have fellowship coming together, sharing our story, but why don't we add something to that, you know, and do some kind of work where we come to know each other better and at the same time uplift our economic status.
Atala was a trainee. Now Atala is training other girls that come in for this livelihood skills training program.
I remember Chuba Ayen, she said that she came without knowing how to even put thread inside the needle, and now she has become one of the finance teller, and she also helps Sisterhood network to give training also, and that is what we want. How can I give back to the community? Good morning.
edu skill ekla shikan hoye kina muhange career kina ka choose kurubo edu han laga bi encouragement bi dishe aro muhange personal counseling khan bi dishe do tik ase mo bi beautician course lobo we do all of rough and all of dumb way that I don't know how to band my hair moi ko hadi de jaise for 6 months training garne through sister network tahan muhange course kan help grina tahan la through tahan sob contact grina tahan he muhange help grina muhan jargon jaise kumba any manu khan mola parents khan ke apna bacha do sabse biya career choose kuri ase call her back. Thank you. In 2009 de gam Guwahati de he mohan gam join gurise. I work as a hairstylist and makeup artist. Guwahati de gam gurigina aro another I go to Bangalore. I work there as a senior stylist. Moi kiki holebi I want to go farther and farther and nga thengse do 2014 October 31st de mola salon do opening gurise. Do edula nam do Perfection Unisex Spa and Salon. At the time, the client be all of gumdi, the all of suffer gurishe business start guru bole the easy no hoy. Mula unisex salon thakise, the time the unisex salon the bishi gumdi. The mota khan do parlor gole do all of sorom maiki laga se na bhavna gore. So it labi moi all challenges aise it gole munja se do. Moi it salon ran gura he unemployed youths khan molugode kaam kurigina tahan at least they work with me and they're earning to tahan family khan ge sai to tahan yedira molugode kaam kurina tahan earn gura do moi khushi pai any mohala kaam do ki ase gludo art edula work do art ase mostly hair khan hoile do so it is like an art we are like an artist
training kurigina ami kan alak suman chuigina kuribole laga do ami kan laga ekta partner ase yade ajun thagise ajun bra yade mogan charta bra ki learn kurise when we say that it's a women led organization and it will be the women who will be coming and taking over the program, you know, giving them training and things like that. Sometimes you know they're taken aback and said that, oh only maikikan nekla, you know, maikikan, you know, that's it, not in a very acceptance tone, but in a kind of tone that that really demean us. We should not lose the focus of the route where we started. We started with nothing, and now when we look around, in terms of infrastructures, in terms of personnel, we have increased a lot.
At a time when Sisterhood was going quite well, there used to be talks about, Sisterhood should multiply and have branches and so on. So in that way, we were mulling on that thought. Sally comes in. She began the branch in Kohima.
After 10 years of working with Madam Anungla and Sisterhood Network, she recognized the clear vision, the commitment and dedication that we had to serving specific group of people here in Kohima, especially the women involved in liquor business.
And their context was a little different from the context here in Dimapur. And so we decided it is best that they become independent. And with our blessings, she also started off a Life Connect. So we felt like Sisterhood has given birth to a child, and they go on. And she's doing very well.
We continue to serve the same people, but also this transition has allowed us to shape the organization's direction based on the need of those we serve, while maintaining the confidence of Sisterhood Network, its mission and its vision.
Then there were also those moments when Sisterhood was accomplishing something. People were coming to know about it, and not only that, help started coming in for doing this project, that project, and so on. And so today, Sisterhood is very, very much alive.
I'm very humbled to represent Sisterhood Network in global spaces such as the United Nations Summit of the Future that happened in New York this year, in 2024, and also at Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development. We also joined collective voices such as Women's Major Stakeholder Group. That is a stakeholder group from women all over the world, and to demand for women to be included in all spaces, and also the demand that financing for sustainable development is centered around women's rights.
We are going to be celebrating 25 years very soon, and my prayer is that Sisterhood will go from strength to strength, and that it will not give up the vision with what we started. And I think as long as women are there with the right vision, with the catching on that vision, I think it will go on. I am glad Sisterhood came into being, and I just hope it goes on. Oh, and can I add just something more? Sisterhood Network is born and brought up here in Nagaland. It's a grassroots organization. In Nagaland, or in other places as well, we find that the societies, the NGOs that function well are brought from outside. They are all brought from outside with enough fundings and all that. Well, one thing that I am absolutely proud of is that it is homegrown and that it's the first women's organization in Nagaland. I think I can claim that.
I